today we are joined once again by Andrew Bett, who is here today to talk to us about his work with Mondi Packaging in Świecie and his work on the EcoFish with them. Andrew, thank you very much for joining us.
It's a pleasure, Sarah. Thanks.
Welcome back, I should say.
Back, yeah.
Yeah. So you're here today. So we're taking a bit of a turn. We're talking about something else, and you're here to tell us about your work on the EcoFish box.
That's it. Yeah. We're excited about the opportunities both in Scotland and in Ireland, both with fish, farmed salmon, and shellfish, principally for chilled, mainly export, but also overland freight packaging.
That's brilliant. And could you describe the product to us a little bit more?
Yes, I mean, this is something that Mondi are ideally suited to work on a challenge of providing basically a moisture barrier recyclable packaging solution for fish, shellfish, farmed salmon. They as a group are principally pulp and paper orientated, but they have a strong and important flexible packaging sector, which involves an extruded polyethylene. So this is a fine polyethylene film that's extruded onto the paper. And this product allows us to create a corrugated box structure that provides you with strength, stiffness, stackability, and moisture resistance to cope with this kind of moisture resistant packaging. So we're bringing hopefully good solutions to the industry for the future.
It seems kind of a more sort of environmentally friendly solution to something like a replacement nearly for polystyrene or something like that.
Well, yes, polystyrene has been the ideal go-to product for fish packaging and shellfish for years. It's pretty much ideal mainly because of its insulation properties. Okay, so this is essential that the product stays chilled and in good condition over many days of transport, sometimes, particularly air freight. And it's strong enough to cope with the stacking requirements, it's durable, it's and moisture resistant, so this is quite a challenge for us to replace this. But the difficulty for polystyrene is its ability to be recycled. Recycling plants for polystyrene, I believe that they do exist, but they're few and far between, and it's the challenges for consumers, I think, the end customers, to find places to recycle polystyrene. And unfortunately for polystyrene and for the industry, some export markets are making decisions on their own in terms of what they're prepared to put up with in terms of polystyrene packaging. And we understand from the industry, and we're now, of course, touching base and learning from the salmon farming industry in particular, and we hope to also learn from shellfish farmers what challenges they have in which markets where polystyrene packaging is being effectively banned. And we know that's happening in the States. There's quite an urgency, and they don't give a lot of notice, so it can be quite short notice. Suddenly they'll only accept a recyclable packaging solution, and we hope to accelerate the design and suitability for effectively all these potential customers.
I think you've kind of answered my next question, because I was wondering sort of why would this be of interest to Irish producers, or fish producers anywhere, and I think that's it, is that the markets they're supplying are looking for more eco-friendly packaging.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody is concerned about the requirement to be as recyclable as possible with your packaging. But the product has got to be fully protected, and they need to have full assurance that it's going to get to their customers in perfect condition. Yeah, until an alternative is proven, you can well imagine that you know, farmers won't use anything other than a polystyrene solution. But happily, when you know, as you know, we've been working now in the aquaculture sector and working on some research and development in that sector for a while, and actually it was, you know, one salmon farmer said, "Oh well, yeah, well, actually, you're not from the salmon farming industry, but that's interesting. You know, where have you come from?" And I said, "Well, actually, from paper and packaging." Oh, I said, "You know, yeah, recyclable packaging. We need that."
Huge, yeah.
We need that. So, you know, happily, then I was back in touch with my colleagues at Mondi, who I worked with for 17 years, and you know, had a wonderful time understanding all the properties of paper on the paper side. So I was doing the sales and marketing for Mondi in the UK and Ireland on the paper side, supplying corrugated packaging producers. So I got back in touch with them and said, "Oh, look, yeah, you know, there's a real need, an urgent need for fish packaging." And I knew, of course, the business model that Mondi has chosen, which is to keep some of their flexible packaging division, effectively this polyethylene sector of the industry, which can work very well with paper. You know, that Mondi says, look, paper where possible, plastic where necessary, and the two can work very well together. And Mondi had already been working on a solution and working with Norwegian salmon producers, and they'd run some trials. And I think, Sarah, you were going to kindly get to put a link to some of the work that Mondi have been doing, which was very interesting. So they have done 3 or 4 day transport trials with chilled salmon in Norway, and they put temperature gauges into online, you know, for like real-time testing of the temperatures inside the case, the container, over the 3-day transport period.
One long trial.
And it works. So we you know, Mondi, they're very good box designers. These guys know what they're doing, and we're now coming to the market. We're really content and satisfied that the product will do the job, and we just now need to convince anybody who feels they need to switch from polystyrene. You know, we are here. We're ready to go, and we can supply trial pallets of boxes. They're all flat packed, so of course we get great transport and storage advantage over polystyrene, which is one good thing. The boxes are fully recyclable. They go into the waste stream as mixed waste and get collected, so they all get you know, baled at the back of processing plants or wherever the fish ends up with the customers of shellfish or salmon farmers or fish, whitefish, landed fish, you know, wherever it's needed. The cases, the waste cases can go just shipped off to the local paper mill and are recycled.
Which is fantastic, because that's one thing I was going to ask you, is how it compares to other solutions on the market. But like, you know, when you're talking about paper, you know, you can fold it, it's easier to transport, like there's a lot of advantages there.
Yeah, and you know, the great thing about a cellulose fiber, okay, so this all comes from trees. The great thing about a cellulose fiber is it can be recycled 7 times. So any box that anybody is receiving through the post or whatever, and they put that carefully back into recycling, that gets turned into another box 7 times before the fiber finally gets too short to make a bond and make actually a web or a sheet. And so it is an incredible product, really. We really get the most out of a harvested tree, let's put it that way. And I would also say that for every tree that's harvested, we plant 5 new ones. So you know, it's a properly commercially run raw material sourcing of fiber. Where we're having 98% fiber and 2% extruded polyethylene flexible packaging, effectively plastic. You know,
Yeah.
Any case or packaging that's 2% or less plastic in the total is deemed a mixed waste. It is effectively a recyclable packaging product. So yeah, into the waste stream, off to a paper mill, and turned once again into a box.
Oh, it's great. It's really quite circular, isn't it? Like you can just keep.
Really
I didn't realize 7 times was sort of the kind of was the number, the magic number there.
Yeah, and it's not too complex. I mean, the fiber goes through centrifugal separators to pick out the best fibers from the worst fibers. The worst fibers will either get washed away in the water, or they'll fall through the wires on the paper machine, and then that is collected. And you know, that's actually quite often you see spread on fields. It enhances the soil. So you know, cellulose is never wasted.
Yeah, which is good to hear, I think, these days as well. And in terms of the next steps for the EcoFish box, so what are your plans now for the next few months or years with it?
Well, you know, Mondi were already accelerating their promotion, their design for chilled road transport, and that's been tested and that's approved. And we're ready to do business with anybody who wants to move from polystyrene into our recyclable Ecofriendly boxes. I can be contacted on my ordinary email address, andrew.bett@salarpursuits.co.uk. And we have underway an air freight trial. So we did a special design. Because of course the key thing is the design. You obviously need to maintain the structure of the box. There's moisture everywhere, even through the processing plants. You know, that's been the challenge. So we particularly needed to maintain stiffness and security for air freight. We're doing an air freight trial at the moment with a Scottish salmon farming company. We're waiting for results from that. No news is good news so far. So
absolutely,
so we're working with and ready to work with any salmon company, fish company, shellfish company, and we really appreciate actually sitting down with them to understand fully the demands of their logistics and their processing plants, so that we can fit. And eventually, if it's necessary for people to switch from polystyrene to recyclable, then we will even supply or help them design for themselves a automated processing system where we get automated box erection a lot in the production line. And you know, so it's basically it doesn't have to be hand formed. It can be done by a machine. Yeah, that's very simple. Yeah, simple stuff.
Oh, fantastic. So it's quite efficient in that sense. Like no one's going to lose time anywhere or anything like that.
No. You know, to start with, we know that our boxes are just 2 people can quickly put one together. But the key is to try and automate that if necessary, and we would help with that, of course.
Fantastic, and I think you've sent me on some resources to add to the IATiP website, so we can share those when the interview comes out. And I might just get you to call out that email address one more time, and we'll have it on the IATiP website as well.
Yeah, so it's andrew.bett@salarpursuits.co.uk.